Good morning, everyone. My name is Karl Sloan, and I'm a student on the BA in Outdoor Learning here at MTU Kerry. My poster is about Friluftsliv, the Scandinavian way of life that people use to experience the joy of the natural world. The philosophy behind Friluftsliv is that by being out in nature, one can achieve a sense of connectedness to the natural world, which then grounds them to that place. The sense of joy brings about an appreciation of the natural world, leading to care for it. And because Friluftsliv is embedded in Scandinavian culture, some Scandinavians already use it to develop a deeper connection to their landscape and nature. I can't just slot it into my workplace programs. However, I can take elements from it and place them into my lessons. To start with, I'll use the environment and nature, language and culture to develop a connection or reconnection to the outdoor spaces that I use as my classroom. I work at the Killorglin campus of Kerry College, formerly Capanalee. I work primarily in outdoor activity instructor training, facilitating learners to gain leadership qualifications in hill walking, rock climbing and mountain biking. My goal here is to include Friluftsliv elements of taking time out during the activity to notice the place we are visiting, to use the landscape, the Gaelic place names and cultural or historical artifacts that we find as a window into the culture, the history and environment of the place. I attempt to foster the feeling of joy for being in the outdoors rather than focusing on the activities. I'm hoping that this will perpetuate down to my learners so that they can achieve the same joy and appreciation as they adventure in the out of doors in all weathers, developing over time a culture of going outdoors for many reasons, including spiritual, recreational, and in some cases, even healing. My learners are hoping to become instructors in various outdoor adventure sports and are planning on working in the adventure sports industry. I feel we create navigators, climbing supervisors and tour guides to fulfill requirements set out in NGB guidelines or QQI standards. However, there is more an instructor can include during their activity sessions. Imagine rock climbing, sitting at the crag overlooking a valley. Ask yourself how many thoughts are going through a student's mind. Wow, look at this place. I wonder how it was formed. This rock looks pinkish. I wonder what it is. Are those lakes the paternoster thingies that my geography teacher was talking about? Oh, it's my turn to climb. The rock looks steep. Oh, it's grippier than I thought. What's holding me up? How is that plant sticking to the cliff? Etc. During my sessions, I plan to stop and take time to engage with the space we are in, engaging with the environment by looking at the ecology and the geology that makes up the place, encouraging my students to explore their own locations, to discover what's around them locally, to spend time outside in their localities, developing pride in and an awareness of how they may contribute to the upkeep or how they contribute to the deterioration of their local landscapes. By using the place names to discover the historical and sometimes mythical stories that describe a place, developing an understanding of why a place is named as it is, what were the influences, Norse, Norman, English or Gaelic, if it has survived intact. A major part of our lives is connection, but it is not the connection to the nature or the place. It is the connection to Wi-Fi or broadband, and it is usually the first question I'm asked at work. What is the Wi-Fi password? Or is there phone signal where I'm going? This becomes the largest challenge to Friluftsliv in Ireland. It is difficult for learners to leave their phones in their pockets, or better still at home, and be present in the moment, in the place, hearing, seeing, tasting, smelling and touching all around them. Many people consider that they do not have access to the wilderness landscape. This is partly true. There is very little public wild spaces. By including these elements in my sessions, my learners could develop the knowledge of where they can find wild spaces that don't have to be too far off the beaten track. Again, they can pass this information on to their learners so that they can achieve or attempt Friluftsliv. So there you have it, folks. By including these elements in my sessions, I hope to instill in my students the confidence to slow down on their activities and embrace the natural and cultural world, to discover the language and stories that make up our landscape and wilderness, to discover that they are the stories, that they are the nature, and that they are the stewards of the landscape. Thanks for listening.